Welcome to the third edition of CEO Insights. First, I want to give you an update on the recent ACPA advocacy and media coverage, and then I'd like to talk about our workforce service delivery. So media coverage post-budget has focused on a range of issues that came out of the budget, but one in particular was the temporary change to the residential aged care planning ratio from 78 beds per 1,000 people over the age of 70 to 60.1 beds per 1,000 people over the age of 70. This raised concerns in the community of a cut in residential aged care beds. Our view, and we have backed this up with a number of conversations with government, is that it is an estimate of the number of beds that the government thinks will actually be occupied during the next period and the number of beds that they're going to have to pay for. The point that we have consistently reinforced in the media is that if there is a residential aged care bed with a resident in it, it must be funded. And if that takes them above that ratio of 60 per 1,000 head of population, they're going to have to pay for it anyway. And certainly the government has confirmed that with us. The other area that continues to be of interest publicly is the 24/7 registered nurse requirement, which comes in on the 1st of July this year, and also the 200 minutes of care requirements that come in October. We are continuing to reinforce that as recommendations of the Royal Commission, of course, we support 24/7 registered nurse coverage and 200 minutes of care to ensure that older Australians have the access to the best possible quality care that they can get. But we also keep reinforcing the very real challenges that our members are facing in trying to meet those targets and ensuring that where members cannot meet them, that there is no punitive action from government or from the Commission. And we've had assurances from both government and the Commission that that will be the case, but those are areas of continuing focus for us. A number of members are obviously very concerned about their ability to comply with the 200 care minutes, and in particular the 40 minutes of registered nurse time. And we have seen the government recently launch a piece of work through the University of Wollongong to look at alternative methods, both in relation to registered nurse 24/7 coverage, but also that ongoing need to have 40 minutes per resident per day, and look at alternative models, particularly for rural and remote providers who are often using enrolled nurses to ensure that they're meeting their care requirements. We are also in the process of designing a survey to obtain feedback and data from members to support our advocacy and further engagement with government and members on those issues. So workforce is an issue for home and community care as well, where new clients are being turned away because providers cannot find enough staff. We are certainly consistently hearing that it's not just the ability to get assessed for a package, but once you have a package, the ability to access the right services to deliver to your needs. That is really concerning consumers and consumer advocacy groups. To this end, workforce and how we resolve the chronic staff shortages affecting aged and community care and long-term funding for that workforce remain key focus areas for us, and making sure that we're making them a key part of our advocacy conversations as part of genuine aged care reform. I want to talk a little bit about the work we're doing specifically to support the workforce in our sector. One of our 4 strategic pillars is specifically around building the capacity of our sector. It talks about encouraging a capable, innovative and trusted sector that has continuous improvement at its heart. Within that pillar are 5 priorities, one of which is to attract, retain and upskill the aged care workforce to meet the needs of the sector. And another is to support aspiring and current leaders in all roles to learn, practice and be recognised for effective and contemporary governance and leadership. I want to talk a little bit about how we're enabling you to do those things. Some of the initiatives that we're working on to support workforce include advocacy to ensure that the sector is a more attractive place to work. For example, supporting the 15% work value case, and in particular, encouraging and advocating for government to fund that decision, which they did announce that they would do in the recent federal budget. Also, advocacy around access to overseas workforce through the extension of student visa working hours, and speeding up of visa processing along with migration incentives. That's something that we're pushing government to broaden. We're also building strategic alliances, partnerships, and establishing networks. Examples include the Aged Care Workforce Industry Council, Human Ability, and the PALM Labour Mobility Scheme, which we saw additional funding for in the recent budget. We're running campaigns to promote the benefits of working in our sector. For example, the National Discovering Aged Care Careers campaign and the Home Care Careers campaign as part of the Home Care Workforce Support Programme in Victoria and Tasmania. That's a program that we deliver in partnership with the federal government. We're delivering on nursing transition to practice programs, including mentoring and professional development for graduate enrolled and registered nurses, as well as those transitioning from other sectors such as health and disability. We've got a range of online learning courses, including orientation to the aged care sector, bite-sized learning for frontline workers, and tools for a diverse and culturally safe workforce. We've got L&PD courses in leadership, governance, clinical and non-clinical practices, and specific resources to support and develop the future workforce, including mentoring, coaching, and emerging leader programs. And we have national, state, local, and online conferences, events, and forums to inform, network, share learnings, and showcase excellence. One of the other things that we're trying to do, and we want your support with this, with examples and good case studies, one of the things we really want to do is build and promote the reputation of our sector. And we're doing that through media, through social media, through storytelling, and celebrations such as the Aged Care Employee Day on the 7th of August each year. Our Aged Care Services Workforce Hub includes tools and resources to support aged care workers in their roles, showcase employment opportunities, and connect job seekers with providers. And we have quality portals to ensure frontline staff are supported to deliver quality care, and access to our workplace relations advisory service is also available. So we're doing a range of things around workforce. One of the points that I want to make, and I make consistently when I talk to groups of members, is absolutely we have to advocate for change, for things that government can do that we cannot do. We do not control the visa system, we do not control immigration, and we're not in control of the funding that we receive. Those things all sit with government, and our advocacy on workforce has to focus on those things. But there are a range of things that we as providers can do to make ourselves more attractive employers and attract and retain the workforce that we need to deliver services to older people. So we're going to continue to provide strength-based advocacy, but also deliver services around workforce and strengthening the workforce to you, our members, so that you can attract, retain, and upskill the aged care workforce that you need to meet the needs of your residents, your consumers, your clients in now and into the future. We're currently working on a workforce vision that will detail our advocacy and our supports for the sector, as well as what we're doing to support longer term needs of the sector around planning, attraction of workforce, and building supply. We really need to increase the number of people who are qualified and able to work in our sector, and that's going to be a big focus for us in the coming months and indeed years. Thank you.